This is the story of a quiet Connecticut town, where a brutal murder would become one of the strangest legal battles in American history. A case where religion, horror, and crime collided, and where a man claimed his deadly actions were not his own. This is the true story of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, the man who said the devil made him do it. Our story begins in the 1980s in Brookfield, Connecticut. It was a typical scenic neighborhood, the kind where families barbecued in the summer and kids played hopscotch after school. It looked like your average American community. Nothing could be further from the truth. Hidden beneath the surface were forces so dark they would soon shake the seemingly peaceful town to its core. February 16, 1981, was a day like any other in Brookfield until tragedy struck. Around 7 p.m., a phone call came into the local police department. A disturbance at 876B Chestnut Street. As officers approached the house, they saw something that shocked them. Blood spattered across the driveway. Inside, a horrific scene awaited. Alan Bono, 59, lay sprawled on the floor of his basement apartment, stabbed more than 20 times. His lifeless eyes stared blankly at the ceiling. The killer was nowhere to be found. But the police soon got a lead on a suspect. Arne J. Johnson, a resident of the same building, had been missing for about 2 hours. Arne, a former altar boy, had recently turned 19. Those who knew him described him as quiet and unassuming, someone who kept to himself and seemed almost invisible. Now, those same people were pointing to him as the potential killer of M.R. Bono. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a web of strange details that defied easy explanation. Mr. Bono's wife, a nurse, was away at work when the murder occurred. She and her husband had argued earlier that day, but nothing too serious, just a disagreement over money. Witnesses recalled seeing Mr. Bono drinking with Johnson and his girlfriend, Debbie Glatzel, at a local bar the evening before. But after midnight, things had taken a sinister turn. It was during this late-night visit to the bar that a crucial piece of evidence was found. A bloody pocket knife left behind by the killer. Fingerprints matched Johnson's. Eyewitnesses placed him at the scene of the crime. All signs pointed to him, leading to his eventual arrest and charge with murder. Now, here is where the story takes a sharp turn from ordinary crime drama into the realm of the supernatural. Johnson's defense team was preparing a standard case, examining evidence, interviewing witnesses. Then, out of nowhere, a bombshell. Johnson's attorney announced that his client was innocent, that he wasn't responsible for the murder because he had been possessed by a demon. At this point, you might think that the case is open and shut. Everyone knows the difference between crazy defense tactics and actual demonic possession. Well, hold on, because what happened next shocked everyone involved and sent ripples across the country. Months before the murder, Johnson had become entangled in a terrifying ordeal involving his girlfriend's younger brother, 11-year-old David Glatzel. According to David, he had been targeted by a malevolent entity that entered his body and tormented him. The boy described this intruder as a sinister figure with glowing red eyes, hooves, and a voice that echoed with unearthly power. David's parents reached out to the Warrens, famous paranormal investigators who had a reputation for handling the most extreme cases of demonic possession. Lorraine Warren, the wife of Ed Warren, would later claim that David was indeed possessed by a demon named Hagathorn. During the exorcism, according to witness accounts, Johnson, standing beside David, inadvertently challenged the demon inside. He told the creature to leave David alone and enter him instead. And then something extraordinary happened. The spirit that had been tormenting David appeared to transfer to Johnson. From that moment on, Johnson began experiencing terrifying transformations. He would growl ominously, his eyes turning black and lifeless. He spoke in guttural, unfamiliar languages and displayed an astonishing knowledge of theology and religious texts. These unsettling episodes continued for weeks. culminating in the shocking murder of Alan Bono. When the police arrived at the crime scene, they found Johnson standing over Bono's body with blood covering his clothes and face. But there was more. Scrawled on the wall in what appeared to be blood were the words, "Beware the beast. The beast is loose." This gruesome message added a layer of mystery to an already perplexing crime. The investigation took a supernatural turn as witnesses recounted Johnson's strange behavior in the days leading up to the murder. Some claimed to have seen a shadowy figure lurking near Johnson's home. Others heard whispers of demonic rituals taking place in the woods nearby. In the face of these chilling details, the judicial system struggled to find a rational explanation. The prosecution was baffled. Here they had a mountain of evidence pointing to guilt. Yet Johnson insisted he was innocent, driven to commit murder by a force beyond his control. Then came the final twist. On March 16, 1981, Arne Cheyenne Johnson pleaded not guilty by reason of demonic possession. This unprecedented defense in the annals of American jurisprudence sent shock waves through the legal community. For the next few days, the trial became a media frenzy. People flocked to the courthouse, hoping to catch a glimpse of the possessed killer. Cameras flashed as Johnson, dressed in a crisp white shirt and dark suit, was led into the courtroom. He sat silently, his gaze fixed on the floor. But it was in the courtroom that the defense's hand played out its final, most shocking card. Lorraine Warren, renowned for her expertise in all things paranormal, took the stand. Her testimony was unlike anything ever heard before in a courtroom. She painted a vivid picture of Johnson's supposed possession, describing the entity inside him as evil, powerful, and with a personal vendetta against Alan Bono. Warren's testimony captivated the jury, blurring the line between fact and fiction. Suddenly, doubt crept into the minds of those listening. Could there really be a demon lurking in the defendant's chair? As the trial progressed, the defense presented witnesses who recounted Johnson's strange behavior, including the eerie incidents at the bar. The prosecution, however, argued that these were nothing more than the ramblings of a madman, an attempt to escape justice. On April 1, 1981, after deliberating for less than 2 hours, the jury delivered their verdict. They found Johnson guilty of first-degree manslaughter, not murder, sparing him the death penalty. The judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison. However, Johnson only served 5 years before being released. His supporters believed that he had already paid the price for a crime he did not commit. The state, though, was less forgiving, maintaining that Johnson's actions were those of a cold-blooded killer. Following his release, Johnson faded from public view. In rare interviews, he stuck to his story, claiming that the devil made him do it. Others, however, saw his case as a publicity stunt gone wrong. Some even accused him of fabricating the entire ordeal to avoid punishment. Was Johnson possessed by a demon, driven to commit murder by an evil force? Or did he orchestrate this macabre tale as a clever way out of a desperate situation? Did he really utter those chilling words, "Beware the beast? The beast is loose"? Or were they the figment of a deranged mind seeking to confuse the authorities and escape justice? To this day, the question remains, what exactly happened in that Connecticut courtroom all those years ago? Did the devil really make Arne Cheyenne Johnson do it? You decide. After all, you never know when the devil might make an appearance.